Hello, my fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Last Nerds on Earth podcast. I'm Mike, your host this week. I also play Oliver Blackthorn, the faceless halfling rogue. We last left our heroes on a search for passage from Luskan to Waterdeep. Carly struck a deal at the stables in the form of discount horses, yet Rain found a better one when he met Lady Bianca, who offered free passage to Waterdeep in exchange for the party to stand security duty on her ship. Aligrax bought some whiskey, and Oliver got all quiet for some mysterious reason. Will we safely make it to Waterdeep? Lady Bianca is the captain of the ship, but does that make it safe to assume that she can be trusted? You might find the answers to these questions and many more on this week's episode of Last Nerds on Earth presents The Five Crystals, a D&D adventure.
Let's get down into it. So, where we last left our heroes, they were just about to step on board a boat that they had chartered. Before that, we had come to the city of Luskan. Come back to it, I should say, because they had accomplished a goal. They had saved a little girl from being kidnapped by a doppelganger, and they received word that their mentor would like to talk to them. So they came back, and they had a bit of fun in the evening where they did some karaoke or played a song.
I listened to it a lot today.
Oh my God, bless your soul. Now you know my pain. And then after that, you guys sort of asked around, figuring out the best way to get down to Waterdeep, where your mentor Francois was sending you. And you guys ultimately decided to take passage aboard a ship that you had discovered down at the docks. And the captain, Lady Bianca, and her first mate, who is standing next to her, who the fuck is that? I'll kill you. Now I have to do the intro all over again. No, I'm just kidding. You met Lady Bianca, who had a ship, and she was willing to grant you passage if you guys would pull security for her, seeing as how she had lost several of her men due to a virus or plague. You didn't really ask. So that's sort of where we join you guys mid-afternoon in the city of Luskan. And as you're about to step aboard, you look around and you notice Rowan is not stepping on board with you. You look back over your shoulder and she is in deep conversation with two people that you have not seen before. And you guys are sort of halfway up the gangplank and just sort of watching, and she looks up at you, gives a wave, and disappears into the city with these two people.
Well, I guess we lost her then.
Guess she's not coming along.
Where'd she go?
It's best not to ask questions.
All right, well, we didn't get to say goodbye. Goodbye! Goodbye!
She probably wouldn't have heard us anyways.
She didn't hear you at all, no.
Never meet again.
All right, so
All right, here we go.
you guys turn and make your way up the gangplank. And you can see the crew is just about finished loading, and there are a few people who look a little bit out of place, and you can probably guess just by looking at them that they're also passengers aboard the ship. But just from the look of them, they're probably not security detail. You can see a rather skinny gentleman. He's a human male, and his brown hair is slowly turning gray, and he wears a white tabard with a gold trim around it. There's also two half-elves, a little bit on in their years, you'd probably say middle-aged, at least for elves, that look like they have very fine clothing on, and they're sort of looking about with, noses turned up a little bit here and there. And then you see a very short, blonde-haired gnome who is sort of standing out of the way. Everybody's sort of off to the right, awaiting orders from the captain or her first mate, the Goliath that you ran into. And he's sort of standing behind everybody else, and he's dressed in clothes meant for travel, meant for going around, so more function than form. So you guys sort of step onto the deck, and the rest of the crew is milling about, just sort of getting things ready to go and just, battening the hatches, as it were.
Seems like a well-run ship.
Yeah, I like the people here.
Say, do those, I'm pointing, kind of gesturing discreetly over to the snooty people. They seem interesting to you.
I'm gonna meet him. I walk over to him. Hello. How are you?
The female sort of, like, or the lady just looks over at you, goes, and then sort of turns away as if she doesn't want to talk to you. And the gentleman looks at you and he's like, yes, hello.
Oh,
Yes.
hello. I think she sneezed. Is she okay?
He sort of looks at you a little quizzically, like, sneeze, I don't know. And he goes, no, she's fine. How are you today? How are you doing? Yes.
I'm doing great. I got to pull a prank last night, and we're going to where we need to go.
Yes,
and
good. Yes, okay.
We're gonna protect you.
All right. Oh, are you? Oh. He like laughs through his teeth. Yes. Well, good. Okay. That's nice. Thank you.
Well, you should meet my friends. Hey.
Oh no,
Alex,
that's quite all right.
No,
I'm sure I'll meet them later. I'm sure. Yes, and he sort of turns away a little bit.
Noticing this, I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna say, "You wouldn't happen to be laughing at my friend here, would you?"
Oh my, no, no, just that's just me. Okay, thank you.
No, he's not laughing. He's actually very nice.
That's right. You heard him yourself. Very nice. Now, if you'll excuse us, we're sort of trying to get settled in. Thank you, though.
Enjoy your trip.
You do the same. Thank you.
Do these people look to be nobility or just kind of snooty?
Roll me a investigation check.
I'd also like to roll an investigation check on these guys.
Sure, yeah. Let me know. Aligrax first, and then we'll do Rain.
It's 19.
Okay. And then Rain, go ahead.
I got a 13.
Okay. So it's I mean, you guys are sort of standing out there, bright sunlight, whatever. You guys are sort of looking over these two characters, and you notice that they do have very fine clothing on, but as you sort of look a little bit deeper into it and sort of really go over, you notice that it's a little bit more worn than somebody who is a higher up might let it get. So they have very, very nice clothing. It's a little bit more like, you know how like jeans will fade a little bit, like still good jeans, but they're just a little bit faded. That's sort of what their clothes are looking like. They do have, let me see. So she's carrying a suitcase with both hands right in front of her, sort of down. And the guy he has a couple of bags. He has like a small backpack on, and then one or two other bags with him that are very nice design.
I would like to turn over to Aligrax so they can't hear me.
I mean, they are standing right there. Do you want to sort of maybe take a few steps?
Yeah. Hey, Aligrax, and then let's walk off a little bit so they can't hear.
Yeah.
Hey, they're kind of mean, and I know that, but you'd be surprised what people tell you if they think you're really stupid.
I believe that, Ninja. Worry not,
And
though.
I
If
just
they give us
wink
any
at 'em.
trouble, I have a certain way with the nobility.
Oh, tell me about it.
If you look at the state of their clothing, I hardly believe there are any nobles worth their salt. Let's just leave them alone for now, and if they raise trouble, then they'll have me to answer to.
All right, but I should talk to them first because they might give me some information.
If you say so.
I'm pretty good at that.
I just give the lady elf my most charming smile and a wink.
All right, she sort of looks at you like, no. Barely taking notice of you. As you guys are sort of moving on and getting sort of acquainted with each other, Lady Bianca comes up the gangplank and she's like, right, that's about it. Let's go, load them up, let's go. She is the last aboard as they pull the gangplank up and the sails get sort of tightened up, and you can feel the anchor being pulled up as the boat sort of sways a little bit, and they guide the boat from the harbor out into the sea. And Lady Bianca comes up, and she is followed by her Goliath right hand, and she says, right, listen up. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to show you guys to your rooms. You four have 2 rooms, so pick out who wants to be with you. We'll get you figured out there. The rest of you all have your own individual rooms. I'll show you where they are. Chop, let's go. And so without missing a beat or even really waiting for you guys, she starts to head towards the back of the ship, which houses a large cabin and also has a set of stairs that lead down beneath the deck. And so you see the two half elves sort of like quickly grab their stuff. The male human, he is just right behind her, already ready to go. And then the male gnome sort of squeaks a little bit, ah! And then grabs his stuff quickly and follows along as well.
Well, for the sake of all of our sanity, I reckon that Carly and I shouldn't be in the same room.
Why? I think we make a really good team.
Oh, we're a fantastic team. It's just the combined amazingness of our prowess is just too much.
Oh, well, I think you got a point. I think we do need to split it up a little bit, don't we?
Indeed, quite. So let's say myself and Oliver.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Oh, Rain. All right, let's do this.
Good luck, Ryan.
Let's go check out our quarters.
All right,
Well,
so
he doesn't need luck. He's got me.
Right. Just sort of giggle to myself and keep walking.
Actually, I'm gonna once I set my stuff in my room, since this isn't going to be a short trip, I'm gonna spend every spare moment I have working with the sailors. I'm gonna try to learn some sailing. I'm gonna be stuck on a boat. I might as well learn something.
all right, as you guys are led down the steps below deck, and by the time you get down there, Bianca's already put the half elves in their room, the gnome and the human in their individual rooms. So there are 2 rooms left, one on the left and one on the right. Who's going into where?
I'll just sort of follow Aligrax on that.
Let's go left.
I'll go right.
Left chance.
All right. So
I
raining.
go left as well, actually.
So
I turn him around and push him into the right room.
Okay.
Rain, as you walk into your room, a small shadow flies at you from the side and lands basically on your head, and you hear a high-pitched squeal. I got him!
Like, is it a real threat, or is it?
It's
like
basically
a tiny
it's
little thing?
blinded you, and you can't really see.
I'm just gonna reach up and grab it by
Alright.
whatever amounts to the scruff and like yank it off.
Make a dexterity check.
13.
13. Okay. With success, this little thing is just sort of scrambling all over your face, and you can't really figure out what's going on. And so you reach up with both hands, and you sort of grab what feel like arms, and you pull off, and in your hands is this squirming, writhing, tiny little half-orc child, and she is just screaming at you, let me go, let me go, let me get you, let me go, let me go, let me go.
Like,
Let me go, damn
grab
it, put me down, put me down, put me down, put me down.
grab her by like the scruff of her collar of her shirt, just physically carry her out.
Upon leaving the room, you notice that pretty much charging down the hallway is the Goliath with the dark green, light green hat and the red and yellow pants, and he's almost streaking straight for you, and he pulls up very short right in front of you, and
Hold it
he puts his hand out and he says, drop. He looks at this tiny, now fuming little half-orc child sitting in his hand, and he goes, Philly. She goes, it's not my fault! It's not my fault! I did a good job! I got him! But he didn't got me! It's not fair! It's not my fault! And he just looks at her and he goes, Philly. And she stops, and she gets really huffy, and then she climbs down, and she goes over to you, and she's like, I'm sorry.
And you go down, and I go, in the future, here's a hint. Don't yell I got him when you get him. Just get him.
She gets a big grin on her face, and she goes, okay! And then sprints and runs off and goes up the stairs onto the deck of the boat. And the Goliath looks at you, and he goes, okay. And then walks away.
What a nice job.
Okay. Nice guy. I like him. Very direct, to the point.
So basically, the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to describe stuff. And if you guys want to stop and do something, that's fine. This is sort of travel mode for you guys. But yeah, if there's something specific you want to do, like hang out with the crew and everything and sort of learn stuff, that's fine.
That's what I want to do. I want to hang out with the crew, learn some sailing. If I'm going to be stuck on this boat, might as well make most of my time.
Gotcha.
I think I want to talk to the elves again as much as possible, and then meet that blonde-haired gnome.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So,
keep an eye on the elves.
Yeah, same. I don't really trust them.
wow, somebody's snooty, and all of a sudden you guys are ready for bare
No,
teeth. and
Oliver
everything.
hates snooty people.
Good to know.
I actually, for the most part, try to avoid the elves on the off chance that they might know my character's family. Just in case.
Okay. Gotcha. So you guys are going to go ahead and set your stuff down and then head up to the top. And as you sort of come out of the darkness into the sunshine, you notice most of the other passengers are still in their rooms, except for the blonde-haired gnome, who is closer to the bow, sort of watching as the ship comes out of the harbor and works around the other ships. And there's other larger and smaller vessels coming on either side and going. And he's just sort of sitting out there and watching the ship. Most of the rest of the crew are, they're pulling ropes and they're, doing ship-type stuff. I'm not a seaman, but you can imagine. Lady Bianca is up by the what's the drivey thing of a boat?
The helm.
The wheel?
The helm is a
Helm?
spaceship. I'll take wheel.
No,
The helm.
it's
It's
also the helm.
I don't think so. I've never heard it
She's
called
up by
that
the driving
before.
bit.
A tiller or
Jack.
wheel and any associated
Jack.
equipment for steering a ship or boat. Damn it. All right, so she's up by the
Jack.
helm. What?
I was in the Navy.
Barely, just for 4 years. So
5.
anyway, she's up by the helm wheel. The wheel helm. Oh, wheel helm. That's funny. The steery place, just sort of, she's next to just the driver and sort of, not really telling him what to do. He looks like he knows what he's doing. She's just keeping an eye out, calling out orders every once in a while, like, string that up, stuff like that. Stuff captains would say. Once again, not a captain. You notice the Goliath, who had left earlier, is sort of working with some of the crew, sort of if they're having trouble with stuff. He's this massive 7-foot tall guy, so he's picking up heavy stuff and throwing rope around and everything. And the tiny little half-orc girl is basically glued to him. She's right by him the entire time, just sort of hanging out, talking to him, just nonstop. Her mouth is just running constantly, da 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 da, and he barely says more than a word while he's doing this. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I'm gonna walk up to that blonde gnome and introduce myself.
Yeah, he's up at the bow. He's on the right side of the bow, so you can walk up to him. You walk up to him and sort of do your thing.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Carly.
Oh, nice to meet you. My name's Parad Ellisteen.
Paradelistine?
It's Parad Ellisteen.
Parad Ellisteen. Nice to meet you, Parad Ellisteen.
You can just call me Parry if you want to.
All right, Perry, that's way better. I could say that really quickly.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah. So, where are you going? You going to Waterdeep?
Yep. Everybody's headed to Waterdeep. That's where I'm going. Well, not stopping at Waterdeep really. Just sort of, stopping for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm stopping, but I'm not staying. Headed off to Neverwinter after that. So.
Oh, why are you going there? Anything special?
Just family.
Oh, how big is your family? I only have a small family.
Me too. Yeah, small family. Yeah, just my daughter and me. Yep.
Oh, is your daughter here? Or is she over there?
Yeah, she's down at Waterdeep. I mean Neverwinter. I mean Neverdeep. I mean Waterdinter. I mean she's down at Neverwinter. She's at Neverwinter.
Well, I learned from people a long time ago, if you're gonna make something up, you better make it just great. And I like stories, so you can make up whatever you want, and I'll like it.
Wow. What do you mean? I just
Well,
got confused of Waterdeep and Neverwinter. I got a little flustered. I'm not used to talking to people for so long.
Oh, well, you seem pretty nice. I thought you talked to people all the time.
No, just only when they talk to me. And usually they don't talk too long. Usually just get out of the way, or watch out, or do that, or,
My mom's a gnome. I know how that is.
He takes a good long look at you. Just a good long look.
Yeah, my mom, she was a nice lady, and she seduced the genie. It was hilarious. And now here I am.
Well, I see you were right about making stuff up. That is, yep, you gotta be good about it. And that's good stuff right there for sure, yep.
Yeah, that would be a good story if I made it up.
Oh my god, this makes so much sense.
Yep. All right. Okay.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I hope I see you
for
again.
sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably. Well, it's 2 weeks to Waterwinter, so yeah, we'll probably cross paths once or twice.
I'll make sure to talk to you every day because you're nice.
Oh boy.
All right, and I turn around and walk away.
Okay. He just goes back to looking at the big ships coming and going.
So, Carly, do you relay the conversation to us, or
Oh, I'm just walking around the ship right now.
I'm gonna go over to you. I'm gonna ask, what's up with our gnome friend over there?
Well, his name is Perry, and a lot of other stuff, but he just told me to call him Perry. He's pretty nice, and he's going, where we're going, and then he's going over to Neverwinter, and then he lied a lot, so he didn't tell me the truth, but he couldn't come up with a better story. I asked him to, but he wouldn't, so.
Strange, isn't Neverwinter on the way to Waterdeep?
Oh, well, he was getting confused, and I know people like that. He's anxious, and he's hiding something.
Interesting.
But he's super nice. I'm going to talk to him every day.
Yes, do that. See if we can find more out, because he seems awfully suspicious.
Yeah, I really want to know what his favorite color is. I just forgot to ask.
Probably green. Moving on. Let's see. So the gnome's still the only passenger up on deck?
Yeah, for now, everybody else has sort of stayed below deck. The crew is... You guys are about to get out of the harbor. What was that?
How well am I getting along with the crew?
Oh, so basically all you're doing is really just sort of watching and sort of checking out like what's going on and sort of keeping an eye out. So I would say like that's probably going to be your what you should do for the first day or so. But there are a couple of guys who are like they're more than willing to help you learn and stuff. So if you look curious and you stand around long enough, they're more than likely to just sort of give you a heads up on stuff like, hey, this is how you tie this knot and da 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 da.
So, is Lady Bianca, what's she up to right now?
Right now, all she's doing is sort of keeping an eye out, just sort of guiding the ship out a little bit, but everybody sort of knows what they're doing. And once you guys sort of stand around, keeping an eye out on everybody, and you guys eventually leave out of the harbor, and the sun is it's almost about to start setting over in the west.
I'm gonna approach Lady Bianca and say, Lady Bianca, I
Yeah.
have a question for you.
Right, yeah, go ahead.
What do you know of one of your passengers, this, obviously I'm trying to count that gnome here.
Yeah, so he's still at the front of the bow, and you guys are more closer to the stern. That means the back.
So I'm gonna say, what do you know of this gnome passenger, Perry?
Oh, Parade? Yeah, here's the deal. I know you guys are adventuring guild, probably fresh out from what you look like.
Yes.
I don't care what happened in their lives. I don't care what they do on my ship, as long as they don't harm me or the crew. They've got the coin, they've got a ride. That's how I do it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Still, preventative measures are always the first step to security of any voyage.
Well, why do you think I hired you?
This is a fine point you make. Still, let me know if you notice anything strange about him. His stories he's giving, from what Carly tells me, are a bit strange.
What kind of stories?
Well, supposedly, he can't decide whether he's going to Neverwinter or Waterdeep.
Well, we're going to Waterdeep.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is Neverwinter not on the way to Waterdeep?
It is and it isn't. We don't stop in there.
Right. And it seems it would be counterintuitive if you're going to Neverwinter to go to Waterdeep and then back.
Well, it depends. If he couldn't find passage, to Neverwinter, he might have had to go down to Waterdeep and then find passage back up. Or he could have family down in Waterdeep. Or he could be a murderous villain who wants to slit all of our throats while we're sleeping and get away with the boat. Either way,
Yes, well,
that's up to you to defend.
this last possibility is what I'm worried about. Anyways, carry on.
Oh, you're telling me to carry on my own boat? My own ship, you're telling me to carry on? How about
You
you
don't
carry
have
on
to.
and I'll just go ahead and do my thing, yeah, would you?
Well, that's what I suggested. Sure.
She
I'm
sort of
gonna
scowls
walk
at
away.
you, yeah. Maybe just walk away from that one.
Flash her a smile. Walk away.
Lady Bianca didn't like that. So you guys are just sort of milling about, and as it gets a little bit darker and the boat begins to really set under sail and it's out of the harbor and you guys are on a straight shot, so to speak, the sky itself is very clear. The stars are beginning to come out as the the sun sets a little bit more and more, and you notice the crew relaxes quite a bit once they get out of the harbor and they get going. A couple of them are playing a card game over off to the side, on the starboard side. There's a couple of them just sort of having a drink and just sort of BSing. The half-elves have come up out of their rooms and they are talking amongst each other and sort of holding each other a little bit close, and it looks a little romantic. And then there is the human man. He is wearing the white tabard with the gold trim. He's got his tabard and he's got his tabard. He's walking around with his tabard. No, he's wearing that. And he's standing on the bow, sort of where Parid once was, who has now gone under the deck as of now. And everybody's sort of hanging out, and it's a very quiet, still night. The winds are carrying you southward. Billy has been running all over the place and is just now starting to slow down with the Goliath catching up. Lady Bianca walks over to you, Rain. And what are you guys doing? So are you guys sort of still hanging out on board? Are you guys sort of
Teaching people how to play dragon chess.
dragon chess? Okay, we will definitely get to that. So Lady Bianca walks over to you, Rain, and she sort of comes up and she says, "Right, you guys getting settled in there?"
Yeah, everything looks great. I'm sorry if my companions are a little off, but your adventurers are definitely not right in the head to start with.
Yeah, you would have to be if you're joining the Adventuring Guild, but that's neither here nor there, We're used to our fair share of little oddballs if you sort of look around, and as you do, you notice individuals from all sorts of different races and backgrounds and everything. And she said, I take it you met my daughter, Philomena.
Yeah, she got me.
Yeah, she likes to do that to new passengers and everything. She really likes to scare people, but it looks like you got the better of her. At least that's what Watermelon Head says.
Watermelon Head?
Oh yeah, my first mate, Watermelon Head. That's the Goliath over there. He does have a real name given to him by his tribe, but Philomena just calls him Watermelon Head, and he won't let anybody else call him anything else. He doesn't answer to anything, so I don't even remember what his real name is. It's just Watermelon Head, and he responds to it, either that or WH.
Ain't broke, don't fix it right.
That's about it.
That's right. And, we all get a big kick out of it, and he doesn't seem to mind, and Lord knows she doesn't. So I do have to apologize. I hope she didn't give you too much of a fright.
Ah, no. I'm used to kids.
Oh, you got some yourself?
No, I come from a very large family.
Ah, well,
Very large.
most half-elves do.
I have 30 sisters.
Okay, that's a little bit more than more than we're used to, but birthdays must be a bitch.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I was a little gruff with your Dragonborn friend before, but I just know he's trying to do his job. So as long as he does his job and you guys sort of, carry on, I usually don't have too many problems with my passengers, and I don't expect we should in the future. But just keep an eye out like y'all doing. So.
Figured I'd learn a couple new trade skills. Stuck on a boat for 2 weeks.
Well, there's stuck on a boat, and then there's free on the ocean. Whichever one suits your fancy. But yeah, the boys around here would be more than happy to show you a few things, as long as you're not in the way.
And I haven't decided if it's stuck on a boat or free on the ocean. Nothing's tried to eat me yet, so see how it goes.
Just keep your eyes and ears about you. You'll be all right. So, all right. Well, you guys keep up the good work, and I'm gonna go ahead and head on to bed now. So, lots to do tomorrow. Lots to do. So, and she gives you a short little bow and walks away and sort of motions to Philomena, who runs over and scrambles up her back onto her shoulder, and Watermelon Head, as he is now known, sort of escorts them into the captain's cabin, which is just sitting just past that door off to the left. There's the captain's cabin. He escorts them in there and then comes back out, and he just sort of is off to the side watching the going-ons of the ship.
I think I walk
Right,
up to the group at this point. Oh, hey guys, what were we talking about?
Just chatting with the captain.
Oh,
So I think we should do a rotation. One of us up on deck at all times. Can easily stay out of the way of the crew. Just someone up here, just in case something goes wrong. There's always someone on hand.
Smart idea.
Right, sounds good to me.
Have you all had a chance to interact with all the passengers yet?
well, I talked to everybody but the humans
I've-
so far.
That's what I was thinking. I haven't heard. Heads nor tails from that human over there. Shall we strike up a conversation?
We should do it together.
All four of us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's better when we have a
how
group
about
talk.
you guys do that? I'm gonna go grab a quick cat nap since I need a shorter rest than the rest of you. I'll take the next watch as soon as you guys come down.
Sweet dreams.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you have a good
So
comfy night.
I'm actually gonna head to the cabin, take a rest while they interact with the crew. That way I can take watch when they're done.
Okay.
I'll let Philly get you again. So let's go approach the human, I guess.
Yep.
So,
All right. So he is from what you can tell, he's pretty skinny. He's got brown hair that's slowly turning to gray, the white tabard with gold trim, like I said, and he is just sort of leaning on his elbows and watching the waves and the very few scattered clouds in the sky sort of go past, and the moon itself is extremely bright up in the night air, and every once in a while sort of glancing up to that.
I'm gonna walk up and kind of like rest my arm like over the side too, like he's doing. Just gonna say, you seem quite deep in thought, my friend.
Deep in thought and just enjoying a bit of peace for once.
It's hard to come by sometimes.
It is.
Yep, that's when I walk out. Hello.
Hello there,
it
my
goes.
friend.
You look nice. I like your clothes.
Thank you, I appreciate that, and I do enjoy the clothing you've got on as well. It's very, very fitting for you, so.
Oh, you like my vest? Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet and I twirl it around.
It is, and I think it looks very accommodating on you, Sir Genasi.
That was very nice of you. You're cool. You're nice.
I thank you, that's very nice to say.
I'll walk up at some point in this and just say, so, who's this bug over here then?
Oh yeah, we didn't get your name.
Oh, my name is Willis Carrington.
Oh, nice to meet you, Willis.
Nice to meet you too, young Shadow Master.
Tell me, Willis, what brings you on this ship with us?
Oh, I'm sure Lady Fate brought me here soon enough, but actually I'm on a mission myself.
Good mission is never a bad thing.
Very true. Would you guys, would you gentlemen enjoy splitting a small bottle of wine with me?
Sounds
Oh,
bloody
yeah.
brilliant to me.
Okay.
Yeah, we like wine. Our friend over here is pretty good at whiskey, so maybe a change up would be good for him.
Well,
And I wink at Alagrax.
and Willis reaches into his tabard and he pulls out, it's a bottle, but it's a small bottle, you know, and he has his own sort of, it's like a travel mug that looks like it could collapse, and it's made out of leather. And he says, well, I've got my own mug. Do you gentlemen have something I can pour this into for you? No offense, but I usually don't share just the bottle, but if not, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
Pull out, yeah, a little flask.
I pull out my water skin and empty the water out of it.
You'll probably do the same.
I'm pouring, a flask of whiskey back into a gallon jug.
He sort of chuckles at that. Yes, you do seem to be good on whiskey. Well, here you go, and he pours each of you sort of a drink, and you guys sort of take the drink, and it's fruity, but it's rich, and it goes down quite well. And he sort of sits there, and why don't we take a seat on a few of these barrels here? And you notice there's barrels up against the side of the railing, and he sits down, and you guys sort of sit together, and he says, well, so I'm actually a Templar with the Temple of Lathander, and I know Templar sounds very scary, but in all reality, I just simply try to spread the message of Lathander. Have you gentlemen heard of his word?
Oh no, I haven't.
Can I roll religion to see if I know about him?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me a religion check.
It's gonna be a 14.
Yeah, you have. His religion is essentially free in Faerun, and anybody can worship anybody else, and he's a fairly popular god. He is the god of birth and renewal.
Yes. I believe I recall learning with Lathander.
Oh, fantastic!
Studies.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so you've done a little studying of the gods yourself, have you now?
A fair bit, yes.
Oh, excellent. And if you don't mind me asking, not to pry too much, do you have your own deity that you sort of worship?
I do. I'm not sure if you'd have heard of him. It would be Lendis.
Yes, absolutely. The god of harsh justice, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, I can see you're cultured as well.
Well, one has to be when choosing a new life, that's for sure.
Indeed.
Yes.
A new life, you say?
Well, the old one was not really working out as it was. I enjoy telling my story because I feel like it helps others, tell and learn theirs. Would you gentlemen indulge me in a little bit, if you don't mind?
Regale us, please.
Well, yeah, I like stories, but I tend to interrupt a bit, so are you okay with that?
Oh, that's fine. Ask questions, and if you need to get up, just simply leave. That's okay by me. I want to sort of tell you how I sort of came to Lathander, if that's okay.
I'd love to hear it.
And what have
Yeah,
you...
I'll just plop down on
Okay.
a barrel.
Gotcha.
I get closer to him.
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't quite the, gentleman that you see in front of you. I was a disgraceful thief, unfortunately, and that was
Thief,
my
you say?
nature. Yes, a thief. I wasn't quite good, else I would have been able to retire off of it, but there was a time that I was robbing this one place, and I can still see it. It's just a small house with shutters closed and no lights on, and I crawled through a window. I was able to get it open. I was very good at that, but as I was rummaging around what looked to be, the family or the house's treasure chest, a noise startled me from behind, and I took my knife and I turned, and it sunk into the chest of this poor soul. And I'm not a murderer by trade, I'm not a sellsword. I was just simply a thief. I didn't want to take life. I just wanted to simply take what I needed. And I can't say that I was good heart or anything by this point, but, I was trying. But with the murder of this man weighing on my soul, I left in disgrace and fear. I fled. I didn't know what else to do, and the next few weeks are a blur, but I just remember myself waking up on hay and cloth over me, and I was in this room that I was sure was a dungeon. But in walked these two gentlemen, and they told me that they were with the Temple of Lathander, and that they had found me near their doorstep, pretty much an inch from death itself, and they sort of nursed me back to health and guided me, and eventually I myself became a Templar of Lathander, and I was so happy to finally find a place that I could sort of let my guilt go. The only problem is I never could, and so the leader of our order called me into his room one day, and he said, "Willis, you have to go." I said, "Master, what do you mean? Go where?" And he said, "Go seek forgiveness." And so that's where I'm on my way to now, is to Waterdeep. And hopefully I can charter a ship, or not even a ship, but just like a vessel to take me down to Daggerford. That is where I murdered that poor man. I don't know if he had any family. I don't know if he had anybody who knew of him, friends or anything. I didn't know anything about him, but I'm going down there to try and find out if he had any family or friends and beg their forgiveness, and hopefully just gain a little peace of mind. Even if they need to kill me for it, I'd rather die than have this guilt weighing on me. So that's my journey.
That's a heavy weight to bear, mate.
Yeah.
It's not a light one, and I hope and I pray that I can, just pay some reparations, and that's why I've sort of taken on this tabard and tried to spread the good word of Lathander. And he is a very noble god, and anybody who goes through pain or anything can always be reborn and redone if they need to be.
You can only be born once. So. Yeah.
Maybe in the physical sense, my young friend, but in the spiritual sense, anybody can be reborn a number of times. I'm not one to say what's right for you, this, that, or the other, but for me, Lathander was a godsend.
Well, that's a sad story. I stole from people before, and I shouldn't have. They didn't deserve it. And so I decided that, you know what? I'd do what they would do. And this one person would always gave, and he was gonna give all this gold away, and I stole it. So now I just give to people that, think they like it. My friend Oliver here likes money, so he gets money. Yeah, if they want it, they can have it.
We all have fires in our past. The phoenix must burn to emerge from the ashes.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Ain't no better way to put it, mate.
Now, enough of this sad jib. Does anybody know a song they'd like to sing to sort of wallow away? Eh?
Well, I think Carly knows one.
We had fun at a tavern. We killed it.
Oh, did you now? Did you have a song that you wanted to sing for me?
Well, it was what would you do with a drunken sailor?
You know, I know that one. It's pretty good.
Sure you've heard it before. Being on a ship and whatnot.
No, I'm sure some of these guys know a song, but I might actually have one. Would you like to hear it? It's a traveling song. It's not too long. Upon
I
the
like songs
hearth
a
the
lot.
fire is red, beneath the roof there is a bed, but not yet weary are our feet, still round the corner we may meet a sudden tree or standing stone that none have seen but we alone. Tree and flower and leaf and grass, let them pass, hill and water under sky, pass them by, pass them by. Well, you know, I'm not no real singer, I'm just a clearer, but you know, it's
You're brilliant.
a decent song.
I'm talking. Oh, that was good.
And he is sitting, but he does take a little like half bow, like, oh, thank you.
Right is the soul.
Singing does. That's what music does for you. I'm glad to have it. So, anyways, gentlemen, I think that's all for my evening. I think I'm gonna go ahead and head off to bed and sleep as I can. You know, not too fond of boats, but I think I'm gonna head off for bed now.
Think nothing of it, mate.
Well,
Boat
well,
rocks
it was
fit us
a line.
asleep.
It was nice meeting you, Willis.
It's nice meeting you two. I'm sorry I didn't even get any of y'all's names.
Oh, I'm Carly.
Carly,
Oliver.
Oliver,
Albigrax.
Alegrax, and your other friend there, the half elf. His name?
Oh. I think he's zoning out at the moment, but that's Rain.
Rain went to sleep,
Rain?
so
No, yeah, he went to
Rain's not
sleep.
there.
Rain's not there.
Well, he is zoning out.
He is zoning out because he's a half elf and he does it. Anyways, okay, Rain, excellent. Well, anyways, off to bed for me. We'll see much more of each other over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. So enjoy the wine. And he leaves the bottle and heads off to bed. He goes to the door and walks down the stairs. So
Lovely man.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah,
guy.
he's also hiding a little something, but he's pretty genuine.
I think he's hiding something.
Well, everybody's always hiding something.
Ain't that the truth?
Yup.
I think the last group we've yet to truly acquaint ourselves with is those lovely elves over there.
Well, I tried to talk to him before. Well, I did talk at him, but they seem to have something better to do, and would always walk away.
See if we can figure out.
Yeah, I think we
see if
should
can
ambush
figure out
him.
why they're. Perhaps
I
an
like where your
ambush is
head's at,
strong.
Carly.
We should see why they're going to Waterdeep.
Oh yeah, I think I should go up to him and just, you know, have a catastrophe on their hands. I don't know, maybe drop something in front of them, maybe spill it on their feet so they can't move. Then they'll talk to me a little bit, maybe.
Golly, I love your methods of. I love your methods, but
Yeah,
Perhaps-
half the time I do it on purpose, the other half I actually don't.
perhaps simply speaking with them will suffice.
Oh, alright.
Are they still on deck?
yeah, they are. They're on basically the other side, about midway back, just sort of standing and sort of holding each other a little close and staring out into the water.
I suppose we should approach.
Alright, I walk ahead, of course. Well, hello again. I'm Carly again, if you didn't remember. I've been trying to talk to you, but you've been pretty busy.
And as you approach, the lady elf sort of looks back, and you see her wipe her eye. She goes, what do you want?
Are you okay?
I'm
I'm
fine.
pretty good at listening. Oh, okay. Well, I can take that. But if you need to talk, I'm here.
I don't need to talk to you.
Oh, I know. I'm kind of tall. It's a little intimidating to some people.
And she doesn't really say anything. She just sort of looks back. And
I'm gonna walk up in the middle of this and be like, "Excuse my friend's bluntness. We simply wish to know what ails you."
yes, well, it's none of his business, is it? None of his business. And she just sort of just wipe a couple more tears away. She says, it's private business, and I won't have anybody just meddling in it.
Very well then. Bygones are bygones. Tell me, What's bringing you in the path of Waterdeep?
Nosy little monsters, aren't you?
Monster, am I?
Absolutely.
Tell me, madam. You seem to carry yourself quite highly. Are you of nobility?
Not that it's any business of yours, but yes, I am.
Ah, then perhaps if you're properly educated, and I start to pull out a little signet ring hanging from around a necklace on my chest, perhaps you're familiar with the significance of the Dardendrian plant.
I know of them. Yes.
Indeed. And you'd know that they don't respond exactly favorably to a haughty attitude.
Well, I don't respond to prying in the middle of the night when I'm just trying to stand here and enjoy time with my husband.
And we don't wish to interrupt you for long.
And yet you
Simply-
have.
It is simply our responsibility to ensure the safety of this voyage. And to that end, we'd like to know, what is your end goal here? What brings you to Waterdeep?
My end goal is to get to Waterdeep, and my purposes are my own. Excuse me. And she walks off in a huff. She just huffs her way. And the male half-elf sort of watches her go, and he's got a smile on his face, but his eyes are a little sad.
We're sorry.
It's
we
okay.
didn't really mean anything.
You'll have
I just
to-
wanted to make her happy.
You'll have to excuse her.
course.
It's a bit private, but we've run into a little bit of bad luck, and so she's just having a really tough day. So if you don't mind, I'm also going to head to bed and take care of Mumsy there, if you don't mind. My name is Berkston Rutherford. By the way, I don't mean to be rude. It's just we've had a very long few weeks, and hopefully this trip will turn stuff around for us.
Well, my apologies for my forward nature.
It's okay. It's absolutely okay. And I do recognize the Dardendrian clan, and I must say that I've met a few of your relatives at a couple of mixes, if I do say so myself, which I will, and I have. Wonderful people. Absolutely wonderful people.
Well, I beg to differ, but thank you kindly.
Not at all. Not at all. You gentlemen have a lovely evening, and I understand you've been hired as security, is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
Well, I will rest easy tonight, knowing you're on board. Thank you. And please have a good evening.
You as well.
Have a good sleep.
He gives a little half wave and continues and heads down underneath the deck. And it's basically just sort of you guys and like a skeleton crew, just like 2 or 3 people. One's keeping a lookout in the crow's nest all the way at the top. Another one is at the wheelie steely thing.
Come on, man.
The helm. He's at the helm, and then there's another one that's just sort of checking ropes, sort of walking around checking ropes and just sort of hanging out. But it's a
Doing
cool
watch stuff.
It's a cool, calm night. Yeah, just doing watch stuff. You know, it's a very cool and calm night. There doesn't appear to be any clouds other than a few scattered off to the east, and that sort of yeah.
All right. Well, I think I gotta get a little bit of sleep, and
Yeah,
then I'll
that's-
take my turn. You just wake me up when you need me.
Ready, yeah? I suppose we should go wake up Rain.
It's been a couple hours since you sort of met Willis and had a brief conversation with him, and then sort of worked around to talking to the half-elves and everything like that. So,
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think it's time for bed then.
Right.
All right. Well. Good night. You guys have fun in your bunk together, because you need the cool guy next to you, I guess, right? We get Oliver.
Carly, could you make sure that Rain's up for his shift?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty good at waking people up.
I don't doubt that.
Carly,
All
let's
right,
avoid the hay this time.
Oh, that's for special
Get there.
occasions.
I'm up by the time it gets there, already ready to go up on deck for my watch.
okay. So yeah. So you guys are off to bed, and Rain, you are up by yourself. It is middle of the night, maybe a little bit later, from what you can tell. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
So that is going to be a solid 9.
Solid 9. All right. You are just hanging out on the boat.
I don't see shit.
You don't see anything. Man. It's a very calm and peaceful evening. the guy who's sort of walking around. They've traded places and traded people out. He walks over to you and he's nudges you with his elbow and he goes, "Hey, look at that." And you look out and there is a pod of dolphins about 200 meters out, and they're all just sort of jumping and following your ship. And he goes, they sometimes, yeah, they'll follow us all the way down and all the way back, from Waterdeep to Luskin to Waterdeep, and then, it's a beautiful sight every time. I get tears in my eyes just thinking about it.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Always this clear at night.
No, sometimes it's we get storms, depending on the season, big heavy thunderclouds, but all we got is those little ones over there, so we'll be all right for the evening. You want to learn how to tie a knot?
Sure.
Okay. Here. And so he takes you over to like one of the ropes, and it's tied up, and he sort of shows you it goes in that hole, and then right around, and then you loop it, you whip it around there and straight back through the first hole, and then you cinch it tight, and you get it tight, right? You get it, and then it's tight, and then it won't come undone unless you pull it right here, but don't pull it right there, because then the sail is going to flip around. So you can just right there tight.
I imitate his actions, tie myself a knot.
Yeah, it's not very good, but it takes practice. I've been on the sea, 3 years, and it takes time, to get it right. But you get it right, and and so you spend the evening just sort of with this guy, just sort of talking to him a couple of times, and he shows you a couple of things, and you guys practice knots, and he'll point out like weather patterns to you. Not that there's really many to see at night, and he's pointing out like navigation stars and everything, but most importantly showing you these different rope techniques and everything. And so why don't you go ahead and add a +1 to any sleight of hand check or dex check that deals with ropes. So type that up in your character sheet somewhere.
Hey everyone, Mike again. Just wanted to thank you all for listening to the Last Nerds on Earth podcast. We are on Twitter at Last Nerds Earth, and Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit as Last Nerds on Earth. If you like what we do and would like to support us, we are on Patreon at patreon.com/Last Nerds on Earth. You'll gain access to bonus content, a chance at a shout out, a chance to play a one-shot with us, and much, much more. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks.